I thought milk does a body good. All of those commercials with the painted on milk mustaches, all that good marketing made you think that dairy was awesome. But let's talk about the truth about dairy. So until about 10,000 years ago, we did not domesticate animals. We did not drink milk unless a hunter was brave enough to milk a buffalo. I don't think so. And most humans, we stop producing lactase around the age 2 to 5. So let's think about what milk is. So milk is your way, a mother's way of feeding her infants. When their digestive system hasn't developed enough, they don't have teeth, they haven't developed a good microbiome yet, they cannot eat food. So this is our way of delivering nutrients and appropriate growth hormones and all the nutrients that we need to get our babies healthy and to get them to grow so then they can start eating real food. And it's interesting because we have to think about why we have milk, right? So if you look in nature, you never see another mammal drink another mammal's milk, and you certainly do not see a grown mammal drink milk, right? Have you ever seen a dad cow drink the milk from a mom? No, because that just doesn't happen in nature. And so we need to be as close to nature as possible. So we do not have the enzymes to properly break down milk as we move through this aging process. And in fact, it stops around the time that you stop breastfeeding if you were breastfed. Now, the US started pasteurizing dairy in the early 1900s, right? So the government said, we got to clean this stuff up. So we pasteurized it, and essentially it kills all the enzymes to help us digest dairy. Now, we've been taught that dairy is very nutritious. But really, when you look at the research, it does not reduce fractures. It actually may increase the risk of fractures by 50%. Less dairy equals better bones. So we've always told, that drinking dairy causes big, strong bones, and it's just not true. Calcium is not as protective for bones as we thought. It's really interesting when you look at a osteoporotic bone and you compare it to, when you look at that under a microscope and you compare it to regular bone under a microscope, there isn't less calcium. It's the same amount of calcium, there's just less density of bone. Like all the minerals are depleted, it's not just calcium. And when we go and we start taking tons of calcium, it really throws off our mineral balance, and it can and may increase your risk for cancer. But we have to understand like what causes osteoporosis. Well, hormonal imbalances cause osteoporosis, inflammation causes osteoporosis, autoimmunity causes osteoporosis. So we really need to make sure that we understand, and we don't let marketing campaigns educate us on our health, because they're essentially a big industry that is trying to sell you things so that they can make money. The whole industry, I don't want to misquote this, but I think there was a huge surplus in dairy after World War II, and they had to get rid of the surplus. So they started this dairy campaign and telling you that it was good for you. Our consumption of dairy was super low before that. Now, about 75% of the population is genetically unable to properly digest dairy products. Symptoms related to dairy consumption: ADD, allergies, asthma, autism, autoimmune diseases, colitis, constipation, diabetes, both types, ear infections, heart disease, IBS, and schizophrenia. Studies show consuming pasteurized dairy can cause poor growth, muscle stiffness, compromise integrity of internal organs, less dense and short bones, B6 deficiencies, and B6 deficiency causing hair loss. All right, ladies, for those of you out there that have any of those symptoms, including hair loss, dairy could be the culprit. The dairy from a cow is intended to grow a 90-pound cow to 1,500 pounds in a very short amount of time. Think like 10 months. So what is in that dairy, that milk that's causing that cow to grow so big and so fast? It's insulin-like growth factor, right? So there's tons of growth hormones in there that really increase the weight of the cow and how quickly they could put it on. And these cows are given extra hormones so that they give it to the infants even faster. So these cows are full of big hormones that make you grow big. And we're not trying to grow big. I don't know about you, but I definitely am not trying to get to 1,500 pounds. So dairy, when I think about it that way, it's the whole purpose of cow's milk is to grow a 90-pound cow to 1,500-pound cow. It has the growth hormones in there to achieve that. And so for me, no, thank you.